All right, and apparently we are now live. Hello, everybody. I am Ryan Cardinal, and this is a late night live stream. Today is the first day of my Indiegogo campaign, and from the looks of it, we have, popped up to 54% on the first day, which is totally awesome. Thank you, everybody that came along and backed the project. I'm going to quickly refresh this here. Yeah, we're at 54%. That is awesome. So we're just over the halfway goal. I put a pretty small funding goal just because, I'm a first time. This is my first time crowdfunding, so this is all experimental. So I didn't want to shoot too high, just cause. Keep it pretty straightforward. But what I'm working on tonight is going to be the secret perk for everybody who has signed up to the subscriber email list. And what the secret perk is, I guess it won't be much of a secret anymore once I let the cat out of the bag. But anybody who has subscribed to the email list at www.kayascomic.com, which I believe is, there's a link down at the bottom there. It is a full color wraparound cover. That is a virgin cover. That means there'll be no text on it. There'll be no logo on it. It'll just be the characters from the book. And this will be the only colored version, and actually the only color whatsoever on this campaign. To anybody who doesn't know, the comic book is black and white. So this is kind of one of those like cool once offered things, and you'll kind of get a glimpse of what the character colors are actually going to look like, because all the promo pieces have been in black and white so far, including the trailer. And I think I've only had maybe a splash of red or something in there for the logo, and that's about it. Hey, Good Dog Press. What's shaking, man? Yeah, if you want to come in, Manny, I can send you the link. Oh, KG, just check out the comment series. That's awesome work. Thank you. I'm just going to pop this out. Yeah, as always, it's going to probably be a pretty chill stream, unless a bunch of yahoos show up, which is probably not going to happen. It's already pretty late. What is it? It's 9:38 here on the West Coast. You here to support? Awesome. There we go. Late night live stream. Pick up the phone. You know where that's from. A, you're old. B, did you ever pick up the phone? Tweet. All right. Nice. Late night is only 3. You know what's up. That's funny. It's so weird not having music in the background and stuff like that whenever I'm drawing. The only time that it's dead quiet when I'm usually drawing is when I'm either thumbnailing or writing script stuff. Because for some reason, I cannot be distracted whatsoever if I'm doing thumbnails. Which I think is one of the reasons why I kind of want to get away from doing storyboards, because it's so, at least on my part, mentally exhausting. I know people that I've worked with that were just wizards with it. They're like, oh, just do this. And I'm like, that looks so amazing. Yeah, so what I'm working on right now, like I said, is just going to be a little bit of the secret secret perk that's available. And I'm just sketching stuff up right now for the full page, not full page, oh my god, full wrap color cover. And just playing around with ideas right now. So if anybody out there has any questions, feel free to ask. Where is it? There it is. And usually when I'm doing thumbnails, I try and keep them like really small, so it's just a scribbly mess, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So anybody that's looking at this just might be like, man, this looks like trash. What did I sign up for? Red. Dark red, dark pencil. Set it to multiply. All right, cool. Yeah, it's funny with all the stuff getting ready for the campaign launch. I haven't actually been drawing much. So much weird back end stuff, trying to, get ready, figure stuff out. And being just like that is not my skill set whatsoever. I'm very much a one task at a time kind of a person, not trying to spin as many plates as possible. But with this kind of stuff, it's just like, all right, you got to do 50 things at once. It's like, and go. But one of the podcasts that I was listening to today was talking about how it's more optimum for you to jump in and learn it on the fly than trying to make everything perfect and then get whatever project is that you're trying to get off the ground. It's like, jump off the cliff, make your wings on the way down. And if you crash and burn, well, that's the way it is. I was like, yeah, that makes more sense to me than trying to make this perfect thing beforehand and then launching it. But I think I did a decent enough job with the trailer to entice enough people. Hey, Unbreathable Skunk Girl was shaking. Hope you're doing well this fine evening. Oh, yeah, that's what I had his hand over here. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's funny. I'm doing basically everything that you're not supposed to be doing for any kind of campaign launch. I got nothing for a following. I got no internet presence. I don't live stream. I was just like, oh man, this is gonna crash and burn so hard. It's like really leaning heavy on how good I can make my product and being like, this is what I'm doing. I hope you guys like it. lean heavy into my strengths and work on my weaknesses, I guess. So, best way I can go about it. Hey, the Panda Droid with Chicken. How you doing? Yeah, thank you for your support in the campaign today. That's totally awesome. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, first day so far has been pretty awesome. I still have yet to activate all my potential Facebook users and stuff like that. So, hey, Michael, thanks for the note on Twitter with KAYAS. The book looks great. Just backed. Oh, awesome! Thank you, Michael. That is awesome. Yeah, really just trying to like I don't know, maybe I'm getting like weirdly existential with this kind of stuff, but I'm like, I just want to make something that I'm going to be happy drawing for a long, long time. Um, the comic book itself it's not a one and done. It is a fairly long series. Approximately, I'm aiming for about I'm gonna say on the conservative side, maybe like 800 pages. it's it's not short. It's ridiculously long, but at the same time, that's the kind of storytelling that I personally enjoy. The characters will be able to evolve a lot, grow. That's just what I want to do. Oh, nice, nice, awesome, Scott. Wanted to remain open ended. Yeah, like with mine, I don't know if you saw the tweet, but I came up with the characters in 2005 just on like a sketch. And as soon as I put the last lines down of the characters, literally the story it erupted. And I was like, oh, wow, like this is a thing. Like there's something here. Like I didn't even have to try. It was as soon as those last couple lines fell into place, I was like, all right, what's the story with these characters? And it just went snap and it flooded. I was like, oh, okay. There's an entire world that just developed instantaneously with like backstories and side. Like it was ridiculous. And I was like, all right. Well, I'm not going to deny that. And so obviously I've been working on it off and on, developing the story. I don't even know how many times I started and stopped it. And I was just like, no, that's not how this is supposed to start. But the way that I'm kind of writing it is I have kind of like all the major goalposts marked with enough loose interpretation in between spots A and B and C where fun stuff can happen. I know I felt the same thing when I started drawing it. Yeah, it's weird when it happens like that. It's like you got no control over it. It's just like, wow. But yeah, writing. If I'm sitting down writing something, I need to have it like completely quiet. Like my kid's got to be at school or he's got to be like out of the house. Because if he's playing games and like yucking it up with his buddies online, I'm like I can't concentrate. Or funny enough, I got to go to someplace that's completely busy, but I don't know anybody, like a coffee shop or a strip club. Like because like at the strip club, everybody else is paying attention to something else, so nobody's going to bother you. Is that photosensitive red? I thought I should have one the other night, by the way. No, this is just like I don't know. What do I got? I got the pencil set up to multiply, so each time that I make a mark, it'll eventually go to black. And the background is I ended up buying these templates actually. Where are they? There we go. Yeah, yeah. So these are just thumbnail templates. I can't remember who I got these off of, but they're for Clip Studio Paint. Super handy. They got all the marks on there, proper size, and it just helps me kind of keep things going properly. Yeah, my drawing process is very, very messy. How easy to resize it? It's pretty straightforward. The markings, I think they're all pretty bang on because like he also like this is part of a pack, so you actually get the double page cover, 2-page spread, single page. I think there's a couple more in there too. And again, this is all just in the sketch phase because I want to make the cover, especially this one, kick ass with a lot of the characters in it. A bunch of them that aren't going to be showing up until like much, much later in the series. Mine too. I wish I could take better pictures of my stuff and people would see my cross hatching. Yeah, it never shows up that good online. It's one of those things that you have to see it in person or in print. This is literally how I draw. I just scribble garbage until I'm like, oh, okay, that could be something. Which is not good for storyboards, I'll tell you that. So aggravating. Because this is, this is how I like to find the energy of my pieces and stuff like that. And working with other people that are, they're able to just like draw a circle and then like bam, 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 and like everything's just on point. I'm like, yeah, that's that's not how I work. That's why I'm really, really trying to focus and shift gears away from working in animation now. It was awesome for the past couple of years, but it's one of those things where I was able to forecast what the job is, where it leads, where it can go, what I would get out of it. Dexter, oh no, get out of here. And I was just like, yeah, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go down this path. This is not the route that I want to take. This is nowhere close to where I want to be. I was like, well, what do you want to be doing? Preferably drawing comic books. As we all do. Like it's that weird pull. Like you know it, I know it, everybody knows it. The drawings did for we do the metal crosshatch. And I inked that with a cheap ballpoint pen. Oh, don't knock cheap ballpoint pens, man. You can get some of the best effects out of those. Yeah, I can't remember who it was. A buddy of mine, Larry, when we were at the San Diego Comic-Con. He introduced me to, I can't remember, I wish I could. It's a French illustrator. Dexter? No, get out of here. Beat it. Get out of here. You're not welcome right now. That's my cat. And yeah, he did all of his illustrations for his comic books in ballpoint pen. And like no pencil guidelines, no nothing. Just straight to ballpoint. And they were bonkers. Like all the perspective was amazing. All like just the rendering was beautiful, and he was selling sketchbooks, and I wish I would have picked one up, but they were a little out of my price range. Even just for like the toss away sketchbook, it's like, yikes. Because I think I just blew a big chunk of change on the first edition of Bone when it came out. The first time that it was collected in like a full floppy, all I think 1,200 pages, something like that. And Jeff Smith was on the floor, and I had no idea who he was. Hey, Kevin, check it, man. Ryan and Dex, yeah. How's it going, Kevin? My Wolverine looks pretty good, though it's not inked yet. I'll be cheap in too. You know what? We'll call it crap paper. Yeah, I can't remember where we were on the floor somewhere, and then my buddy Dan, he kind of like he gasped and darted away, and he was like, "Oh my god!" And Dan's one of those dudes. He's got like really good taste and stuff. So I was like, "All right, Dan's onto something." What does Dan know that I don't? And that was Jeff Smith and Bone, and he was freaking out. He's like, "Oh my god, is this the entire collection?" And you know, Jeff Smith was there. He just unpacked the entire thing. He had literally like a mountain stack of the black and white Bone first edition prints around him. We were like, I think maybe like the first handful of people that walked by. He's like, yeah, this is the entire collection. And he's like, oh man, I'm going to get one. And I was like, oh, Dan's getting one, I'm getting one. And thankfully, because it ended up being one of my favorite things to read in ages. So much fun. And it's kind of funny. It's like Jeff Smith's Bone and Akira kind of have that nice long format storytelling going on, but in different ways. I don't know if you guys have been watching, who's it, Cartoonist Kayfabe? They're doing an Akira retrospective right now, and it's pretty badass. Because they're going through all of Katsuhiro Otomo's lineage from, I think he was doing like Fireball and Memories and stuff like that, up to Domu, and now they're on the second volume of Akira. And really cool watching them break down. I think it's Ed Piskor and somebody else, two of his friends. I can't remember who the other guys are. But yeah, really, really insightful breakdowns of stuff. And I was just like, oh man, this is awesome. But I love that stuff. I was lucky enough to, I think it was at the same, was it the same San Diego? No, it was a different San Diego Comic-Con. I actually ended up picking up an original Akira cell from one of the animation collectors. And I think I got a complete steal. Like, I think I lucked out. Because I was just scrolling through the binders, and I was like, oh, cool. I wonder if they have an Akira cell. And I looked up, you know, and there's one of like the main ones of like Akira and the bike. And it's going for like, you know, $4,000. And I was like, oh, that's out of my price range. I'm like, I don't even have that price range. So I'm flipping through the binders, and I come across a section of Akira, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just find something here. Nothing fancy. And I ended up finding one of the scenes where Tetsuo, if you haven't seen Akira, go watch it. It's freaking amazing. Tetsuo is tripping balls, and he bends over and his guts are spilling out. So I ended up picking up one of the cells where all of his guts are poured out. But not only did I get the cell, it's like I think like a 5-sheet cell. So there's 5 individual sheets plus the original line drawings and the original background painting for $75. And like I was kind of looking around, and I was just like, this has got to be a typo or a misprint or something like that, because there's no way this is $75. Not with all this stuff in it. And I went up to the little guy and I was like, hey, I want to grab this. He's like, oh, what's the price on it? Like $75. Said, yeah. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, whatever the price is, that's what it is, man. Like, you want it or not? I was like, yeah, I'll take it. End up, going online, checking stuff out that's very similar. And I was just like, oh, yeah. They forgot to put a 0 on that. Whoever it was forgot to put a 0 at the end of that thing. You changed the price, didn't you? No, I didn't even have to, man. It was, like I said, it was legit like 7.5 right in the middle. I was willing to go up to like maybe like $300, maybe $400 for something, but then I saw that and I was just like, oh yeah, and I ended up getting a couple other ones. I got one of the kids, Takashi, for a buddy of mine, and the Doctor for another friend of mine. But Kevin, weren't you at a con? Was that over this weekend or last weekend? I can't remember. Everything's a bit of a blur right now. And Scribble Draw too. Yeah, it's I'll go in waves where like there'll be times where I can carve out exactly what I want, and then other times I gotta really, just make a mess of things to just get the energy of what I'm looking for. And that's one of the other reasons I want to kind of get out of the animation world too. It's just like you're not allowed to have time with stuff. It's like just shy of somebody having a gun to your head, being like, "Fucking draw now!" Like, oh man. Pressure deadline. That's one thing, but it's just like, well, you're gonna get what you get. You're not gonna get my best by any means, because what I could give you is completely different than what you're going to get under these circumstances. And they're like, we don't care. We just need bodies. Also, a small thing for free comic book day. Oh, right on. At least that's what I call it. Yeah. Gestural drawing. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like using the pen that I got, the way that I got set up right now, the dark pencil set up to multiply, because then I can keep pushing areas until it gets to black, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, I like that line, and I can keep that line. I kind of getting to get back into the swing of it. I erased Doom's hand a few times. Oh yeah, hands, that happens. Have you seen my Doom sketch? I don't know. I'm not sure if I have. Usually when I'm drawing my actual thumbnails, they're maybe about like the size of a hockey card if I'm drawing them traditionally. And the same thing, they're just a complete wash of garbage. Dr. Doom, rather. Is that his office name? Dr. Doom, rather, wanted in the emergency room. Dr. Doom, rather. Imagine if your doctor was actually named Doom. There's got to be one out there. And you got to know that's exactly why they became a doctor. Better question is, do you want to see it? Yeah. I'm always down to seeing everybody's stuff, man. It's one thing I learned from tattooing is you always got to look at everybody else's stuff because you never know what you might pick up. Like, oh, they do that thing with the way they draw their hands. That's cool. Yeah, you should be able to just drop a link in there. Better not be porn. Ronald, let's look at your stuff. You like that? Yeah. Also, too, with tattooing for so many years, you always have people coming in asking for apprenticeships and stuff like that. So you're always going through portfolios, and you can immediately tell where somebody is artistically when they're coming in being like, hey, I want a tattoo, and you look at their stuff and be like, you're about 4 years off at the pace that you're going. some people be like, oh, that's really close. And other people be like, what? That's a travesty. And get really upset. And it's like do you want my actual opinion, or do you want smoke blowing up your, wazoo? A lot of them just wanted smoke. And it's like, I ain't got no smoke for you. Let's see. No porn on my pics. There's maybe some stuff people share on my feed. Not mine, though. Ghost in the room inspire you. That's it exactly. Yeah, you never know what's going to hop out. Like, one of the things I'm going to do as soon as this comic book project's completed, I'm going to hop right into doing my sci-fi fantasy coloring book, which I think I got like 30 something pages done out of 100 so far. So that's well underway as well. And those drawings, those take me anywhere from 90 minutes to maybe 2 hours to do for a full line piece of that. Just because it's all symmetrical, so I get to use the symmetry feature, which is awesome in Clip Studio Paint. But then I kind of like go all out and just try to make it as techie as possible. This weird cross blend of like science fiction and fantasy and weirdness. It's kind of an exercise too of not trying to think while I'm drawing and just let whatever happens, and that's what it is. Trying to tap into that kind of like weird ethereal spot where you're not really conscious of what you're drawing, and then that way whatever's actually you will be able to come out. If that makes any sense. Don't honest like or hate no lies, please. If you hate my stuff, though. Well, that's the thing. Man, I don't think I've ever looked at somebody's stuff and I was just like, I hate this. Although, yeah, I'm trying to think about it. Like, is there? No, I don't think there's. No, yeah. I can't think of anything where I've just been like, oh, this is appalling to my eyeballs. Get this out of my sight. Nothing like that. But you never know, man. It could be that one day I look at something just visually, it makes me like bleed through the eyes or something. It's funny. I've been kind of like super fixated on the part of the story with the crystal labyrinth and stuff like that, and I'm just like, man, there's so much else to the story, but at the same time, it's just really cool visuals. Can't get better without critics. Yeah, there's the fine line of being a critic and then critiquing something. Like a lot of the stuff that I did when I was a tattoo artist, like on average, right near the end of my tattoo career, there would be anywhere from, I'd say on the low end, maybe about 2 or 3 people a month. On the high end, maybe 5 to 8 people a month coming in just randomly asking for apprenticeships. And the majority of them would never have any of their artwork on them. They just show up and be like, hey, I was wondering about getting an apprenticeship. It's like, all right, cool. Where's your artwork? It's like, oh, I don't have any with me. It's like, you're not going to get a job, man. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I can go get it. I was like, no. That's like showing up to a construction job without hard hat and work boots. You just showed up in sneakers and a tank top. You're not getting the job. John Malin thrives on it. That is true. That is true. But there's one thing with crushing somebody, which I have seen a lot of tattoo artists do to up and coming artists that want to become tattoo artists, because there's this weird thing is like you've got to be ruthless with people, because everyone that walks through the door, they have a drawing or they have something that somebody's drawn up or they've drawn up, and to them it looks fantastic. But to us, we're like, there's no way I can replicate this exactly, line for line, shade for shade, detail for detail. It's going to look exactly how the client wants, but oh my God, it's going to look like I don't know what I'm doing. And that has nothing to do with the tattoo artist. That has to do with, the drawing. So you got to be very delicate sometimes and be like, maybe we should try something else, or blah, blah. And then the client gets very adamant sometimes. It's like, no, I want it exactly like this. This is how I want it. And then you have to break the ice to them. It's like, look, buddy, you're drawing shit. I can do it exactly, but it's going to make me look like I don't know how to tattoo. That's where that drawing's at. And then 9 times out of 10, they get, super offended. But it's like, look, like my skill set is where it is. I know what I can do. But if I do this, it's going to look like I was like drunk, high, and on Demerol compared to everything else I've done. Hey, Engine, how you doing? Right, and the person that looking, it's hideous. I want to change this tattoo. Yeah, man, it's like tons and tons of that stuff, and also too, looking through lots of portfolios and stuff like that throughout like years and years and years. Anybody who was serious, I was like, all right, and they'd show up, they'd have their portfolio with them. I was like, cool, come back again, but bring all your sketchbooks with you. And they're like, oh, what? It's like, yeah. I actually don't give a flying rat's ass about your finished artwork. I want to see your sketchbooks. And that scared away a lot of people. And the ones that didn't, they'd come back with their sketchbooks, and I just these are those weird things that as a tattoo artist that you just do. You don't tell people why. And the reason why you don't tell people why is you want to see if they can actually take instruction. It's just as simple as that. Just like, I want to see your sketchbooks, bring them in on this date, and I'll take a look at them. And a lot of people will, well, why would you want to do that? And it's like, all right, that's strike one. I'll say it again. Bring your sketchbooks in on this date. I'll make time. I just want to see them. And I've never had anybody actually get to strike 3, because I think they kind of cued in at that point. It's just like, and then they show up, they'd have their sketchbooks, and I'd go through them, and I would have, I would gain more insight to their artistic, how can I put it? The things that they really like drawing, because a finished product, like somebody could have spent 70 hours on a finished product. It looks magnificent, but if it's something that's only like, the size of the palm of your hand and it took you 2 weeks, I'm like, that does no good for a tattoo shop. You got to be able to do that in 2 hours. I want to see your construction lines. Yeah, like I want to see how they're sketching. I want to see what level of sketching that they're at, how loose they are, their fallbacks, because like you see all the mistakes in the groundwork, because that's where you're trying to work all your stuff out. And yeah, there's way more insight in the sketchbook into where somebody's at than a finished drawing any day of the week. Sketching shows your style more than a finished piece. Exactly. What do you ask the Kung Fu Master why he wants you to script? That's it exactly, Scott. That's it exactly. Yeah, for my channel, I realized like me making content and having commentary on like the state of whatever, I kind of don't give a shit about that stuff. I have a certain extent of like what I'm interested in. I kind of like to put my, finger in my mouth, get it wet, put it up in the air and see where the wind's blowing, but that's the extent of it. So I think some of the content, I'm just going to start telling old snippets of stories from back in the tattoo days, kind of just to make everyone be like, what the fuck is this guy on? It's like, no, you don't understand. I was the mellow one and everyone else was like 1,000 times worse than me. Like I stayed out of trouble and it still was nuts. So I'm just a noob. Hey, Thanacorn, how you doing? I'm 52 and noob. That's the awesome thing with art. You can pick it up at any time. And there's a couple of cool things too. One of the things when you pick it up and then leave it alone for a while and you pick it up again, sometimes you get a little bit faster, a little bit better. I've had a couple artist friends, same scenario. They wanted to get into tattooing. They were, a decent artist, and then life got in the way and they went away from it. And then they came back to it later and then they really found their groove. They found the thing that they really like drawing and they just laid all their chips on that. There's like, hey, I really like doing traditional eagles and script and that's all I want to do. And it's like, yeah, man, like you killer at traditional eagles and script. Like there's no doubt about it. But can you do anything else? Like, nah, that's where I spent all my change. That's where all my skill points, my D&D character went. I've been drawing since I was a kid and left it alone. Yeah, you should, Scott, if you ever get a chance, pick up Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain. They do a really, really awesome in-depth breakdown as to the psychological aspect of why you draw the way you draw. And a lot of it actually has to do with adolescence. And like when a bunch of kids, when they, we've all been in that spot. Like in elementary, everybody drew something, except for my kid. My kid doesn't draw anything. He's like, Dad, I got an art assignment. Can you help me? It's like, do it yourself. He's like, I suck at drawing. It's like, because you never do it. He's like, hate drawing. But Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain, they talk about how everybody as a kid, they all draw. And when you're in kindergarten, you actually kind of have almost perfect composition. Everything's janky, but everything's exactly where it should be and just the right size. And as you get older, you start, looking at things. You're like, well, this TV doesn't really look like a TV when I draw it. Let me try and make it better. And then when you hit puberty and the logic side of your brain kicks in, at least this is how the book explained it, that's when you really start getting to quote unquote detail of things. And they got a couple really cool examples. Like they show this kid drawing from age, 5, 7, 9, and then he hits 11, 12, 13, 14, and you see the sharp change very drastically. And a lot of it has to do with quote unquote, air quotes here, detail. And that's the part of the left side of the brain, arguing with the right side of the brain, being like, no, it has to look a certain way. You're not doing it right. What do you think you're doing? And this is where a lot of kids get discouraged when it comes to art, and a lot of people quit. And I had a lot of friends at that age, then that's exactly what happened. They were really good artists. We were all in the exact same, drawing Spider-Man, all that kind of stuff. And then something clicked where they were just like, yeah, I'm done with this. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, that sucks. I was like, well, who am I going to draw with now? And a lot of people drop out of the drawing phase because puberty kicks in and the left dominant logical part of the brain kind of just really horseshoe wedges out, just like, get that out of here. You don't need that, shoehorn it out of there. Not horseshoe wedge. What the hell's that? Because it doesn't fit the logic. Like, why are you trying? This doesn't make sense. It doesn't look right. But those who persist, it's just like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't look right. I gotta keep trying. Yeah, Engine, your stuff's dope, man. I dig your stuff. Well, I've been drawing. I was painting, just started drawing again. I like comics. Yeah, that's how it all started with me too. I'm a kid in the draw. Yeah, keep it up there, man. It's like it's one of those things. It can literally take you anywhere in the world. Uh, you know, what's the saying? There's no greater threat than an artist because they can mingle with the poor and the elite all within the same day, and no one will bat an eyelash at them. And Dr. Doom has a TV on his left wrist. Nice. My face on it. I went to the Navy and had no time to draw and all that. Yeah. The Navy will definitely eat up your time. They purposely make you have no time of your own. That's military time. That's their time. Oh yeah, no problem. Dude, stuff's dope, man. It's your own universe, create how you like it. Just a bumper outside. Exactly. Yeah, no mistakes, just happy little accidents. That's what I tell my kid all the time. Yeah. No mistake. It's a happy little accident. Yeah, this is literally how a lot of my drawing starts. Just this garbage. It's like how much hot trash can I throw down before something happens? Sometimes there's a lot of garbage gets thrown down. I'm throwing a lot of paper away. Oh man, the amount of trees I've killed. Like where I grew up, kind of like we had nothing. There's like there was we had a general store, and it was just like pop and chips kind of a place. Um, I grew up in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere in northern Alberta. Funny enough, about 40 minutes away from the theoretical place where Wolverine was born. And like it's funny, I was reading that comic. I was like, yeah, there's no places like that around here. Get out of here. It's the woods, it's the bush. Even back then, it would not be like that. There's no hoity-toity people around like that, man. It was just like, dude, it was like not much has changed a lot out there. Just people got like bitchin' trucks and stuff now. But we would go to the local office and just take reams of paper because it was like, man, like we have nowhere to get supplies for anything, so we just go in there and be like, all right, there's photocopy paper. Anybody around? Nope, sweet. I'll take the 11 by 17. I'll take a couple reams of this, and we would just walk out, and nobody would pay attention, and so we would have drawing supplies forever. Thumbnail on the first will save you time and paper. Yeah. So me, my being inspired. Worst to fight. You might like my painting. It's pretty dark. Oh yeah, $500 discount all the time. Let's take it from school. Yeah, school was another one too. We got in trouble once. We ended up because they were renovating our school, and all everything was wide open, and this was right before school started. And so we were just like, well, the entire school is open. Let's just go in. So we went in and we're walking around. This is like when everything still had like construction all over the place, and you know, there's like rebar and concrete still being poured, and completely hazardous giant dugout things, that you could have just like went away. And we ended up finding one of the storerooms with all the school supplies and stuff. So we're like, oh, score. And so obviously, 5-6 kids coming out with just like reams of multicolored binders and stuff like that, and like just like armfuls of stuff. Like, yeah, this is awesome. And we all go home, and next thing you know, woo! 2 days later, there's the police. Hey, did you guys break in? It's like, can't really break in if there's no doors, really, and nothing protecting it. And there's like, did you guys steal stuff? It's like, we took things. I don't know about stealing it. Do you want it back? And like, yeah, we'd like it back. All right, here you go. But still, like, as kids, we're just shitting ourselves. Like, oh my God, the cops are going to jail. Oh yeah, but like I said, like where we grew up, there is nothing around there. Like there's a reason why crime is high and drug use is high around those areas, because there quite literally is nothing. Like if you want to go party, you're kind of forced to drink and drive. It's brutal. Like everybody drink and drives out there. Like it's just the way it is. No one ever liked my stuff enough to want me to put it on real paper and pay me for it. Well, it's all about practice. You know what? Practice and finding your audience. Like that's one really good thing about the internet right now is like you never know what other people are going to dig. That's the thing. Like you may be there being like, oh, my stuff's not good enough. Oh, this, that, and the other. You got to remember, there's other people out there who cannot do what you're doing, and they might really, really dig your stuff. Hey, Field Goal, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Got these late night live streams going on. Drawing dreams on the streams. On today's episode, Ryan scribbles garbage on digital paper. You want me to give them the PDF? Oh, just that's not paid for it. Misunderstood. They want it free. Oh yeah. Fuck, everybody wants it free. Not bad, chilling, right on. Because digitally they think it's worthless. Yeah. No, I've run across that too. They're like, oh, it's digital. It's not like you're doing it. But then I remind them, but like I always have the caveat of coming back. Is like, all right, well, if I was tattooing you, my rate's $150 an hour. They're like, what? It's like, yeah. That's my sit down rate. In order to draw your stuff up and tattoo it, it's $150 an hour. Immediately they change their attitude and like, oh, it's okay. Yeah. No, I don't. What's your price again? It's like, yeah. It's because I can go back to tattooing. I don't want to, but I could. And with the average prices, the average rates right now, like 150 is on the low end now. Everything's like 160 to maybe like 220 an hour now. Like it's no joke. It's legit. mad, like there's a lot of money to be made in it. But when you do it for almost 20 years, it's like not enough money in the world to keep me here. I'm out running away. Took me lots of hours to paint. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, time is time, you know. Other kids ask me if they can do their art homework. Yeah, it's you know, that accord, you'd be like, yeah, I can. It's gonna cost you though. The one thing that they never teach you when you're doing art is the fine art that it is a business. Ultimately, if you want to be doing art for a living, you need to know how to do business. And I really wish I would have learned that a long, long time ago, because it would have made a huge difference right off the bat. But because, you know, I was a trash skateboard kid, having fun, drawing, partying. Like, come on, I was a tattoo artist at the age of like 18, 19. Going to strip clubs, hanging out, strippers. Like, it was like, whoa, this is amazing. Yeah, there was no business side. It was just like all good times. I wish I had somebody pulled me aside like, hey, jackass, get your stuff together. Concentrate. Like, you know, literally put 75% of that money away. Then they'd look over and then see me just like, you know, rifling dollar bills at the stripper. I'm like, hey, what are you talking about? So yeah, I wish somebody would have pulled me aside and, you know, really told me like, hey, it's a business, and that's the real thing you got to prep for. Let's see, digital art is worth it because the computer does all the work for you, right? Yeah, that's it exactly. I'm gonna get the drone soon. Drawn and just put a countdown. Speak. That's why I'm not jumping into a campaign. I want to nearly done, if not complete, before I do it. Yeah, like I was hoping to have more done on mine, but like I got up to like 30 pages out of the 48 pages that I have slotted for the issue. So I'm pretty close, and it's like, okay, that's enough. But at the exact same time, I do have a couple stretch goals that's gonna extend it. So I'll kind of just play it by ear, see what happens. But I got 64 pages thumbnailed and ready to go. So, and then, you know, once they're all drawn up, one of the things that I do with it is I print them all out to actual print size, and then, you know, I get to gauge how they actually look, and then from there I'll make my final adjustments. Because when it's done in print size, you can really see what's working and what's not. I always find working digitally is kind of like this. I don't know. It's almost like an illusion because it's not the real size. Kind of like this. You know, you can zoom in and all that kind of stuff, but it still doesn't make it look right when it's all said and done. Taking a look at Long Harbor, yeah, it looks badass. They're probably just procrastinating. I need some templates like you're using. You know what? There's a lot of free templates online. I think if you go to Kablam, they have a couple free ones. Yeah, I can't remember where I got these ones from. But yeah, quite pleased with them. They do the job. But I'll still go in and I'll make like a 10 by 15, just like a block template, and just kind of like line it up to be like, okay, this is, you know, shorter in this area. I find that a lot of them they aren't 10 inches across. They're like 9 point something. I'm just like, well, just go, come on. Seriously. I'll get, you know, worked out in the end anyway. And it's not an exact science. It's all estimated, and no matter how much you do on your end trying to line it up perfectly, when you go get it printed, they got to run it through their stuff, and they're always going to adjust it. Like there is no way you're ever taking it to the printer and it's going to be perfect. Like they're going to get you, they're going to ding you for that, extra $250 to line everything up properly. Just the way that it is. When I use GIMP and played it out, I like plates overlap, kind of pop, different sizes. That's the other cool thing now too, is there's so much like really, really good free software out there. Like Krita is awesome. I was using Krita for a while. Let's see, back when I think it was like Krita 6 point something. I can't remember what they're on right now. And even that was impressive back then. I was like, man, this is a free program. This is pretty boss. And then Clip Studio Paint went on sale, and I was just like, yoink. And then I dropped Photoshop completely. I was just like, get out of here, Photoshop. I'm sick of you. Get your garbage out of here. And then, yeah, I've been using Clip Studio Paint almost exclusively for 4 years now. About a little bit more. Krita, I'm going to go from GIMP to Krita, I think. Yeah. That's there's a lot of really good stuff with Krita. Snapdraw. I don't think I've heard of Snapdraw. Another good one out there that's totally free now. Used to be full price, but it's Sketchbook Pro by Autodesk. And the good thing is that they're still updating it. They haven't completely killed it like Autodesk always does with all of their stuff. Autodesk is notorious for buying up really cool properties. Actually, Adobe's the same way too. Like buying super cool programs and just completely killing them. Like just, leaving them to the wind. Which is unfortunate. This is all just working on stuff. I don't need it for real. Bloop. And it's free. I'll look at it. I need something more friendly with my hand tremors. You know what, Scott? If you got hand tremors, who was I talking to? There was, oh man. I can't remember. Mr. Big T Anderson. When I was streaming on Twitch quite a bit, I believe it was Mr. Big T Anderson. He said he had terrible hand tremors, and I suggested Clip Studio Paint because it has a stabilizing feature in it. Let's see if I can explain it here. So, so if you got tremors and stuff like that, the stabilizing will help eliminate any of the weird shakiness in the line. Where's it? Oh yeah, so I got the thing down here. So I got no stabilization on whatsoever. So I'm going to draw, like just scribbly fast like this, and it'll if I draw a straight line, it'll capture every little like weird reflex that you do and wobbly and all that kind of stuff. But if I crank the stabilization and I go right next to it, and this is like quite literally the exact same speed and pace I'm drawing it, and you can see the difference in the line quality. All right, I got a Doug Ernst and a Richard Humay's watch, kind. Back to bed before I have to do it. All right, feel good, feel cool, take it easy. Don't I got a couple of Richard videos to draw? I think so. I ended up watching his, what was it? Oh, it's this Kevin Smith one that I ended up watching, which I think was super funny because he's commenting on Kevin Smith watching a video over, like, I found it super funny. It was just like, is he purposely being meta or is he just fooling around? All right, feel cool. Take it easy. So that's going to be the cover. I got so much. How long I've been doing this? Just kind of like scribbling tonight. I don't know, not that long, but drawing in general, forever. Been drawing ever since I was a kid. So yeah, like this is, and you can adjust the stabilizing depending on what you're doing too. Like one of the cool things I like about it is, yeah, like here's an example. Like if I'm drawing, a curve, kind of gets like wonky, but if you crank the stabilizing, then it can turn out like really smooth. And like if I'm trying to like zigzag really far and fast, like it won't go end to end. It kind of just finds the happy medium between the furthest points and kind of does something in between. I really like it just because just for like years and years of tattooing and using like traditional pens, I kind of can't hold a regular pen properly anymore because like it's like a gorilla just like trying to carve out a line with granite, and it destroys my hands. So when I'm drawing digitally, I actually have everything set up like really soft touch. And then when I go to ink stuff, I can turn the stabilizing bar on and get the line quality that I like, and also fool around with it so I can get more expressive lines for organic stuff, and then turn it up if I'm trying to do something that's like a bit more refined and tight. But yeah, Clip Studio Paint, amazing program. It always goes on sale. I swear, like every 3 months, usually for 50% off. They have 2 different versions. Well, I think they have 3 different versions, but realistically 2 versions. One is called Pro, and that's kind of like their entry model, which you get pretty much absolutely everything. There's only just a couple minor differences between Pro and the EX version. And unless you're really doing animation, and specifically like making comic books. But even then, you kind of really don't need the features in EX, only if you're doing like full blown animation. But yeah, for Pro, you get all the stuff, the full 3D model library. You sign up to the 3D or the assets library that exposes you to literally thousands of free brushes that are totally, you can use them in all your creations for everything. It's awesome. What program is that you're using on disability? So cheap is good. Yeah, it's just called Clip Studio Paint. When it's not on sale, I think it sells for like 50, 60 bucks. But when it goes on sale, like I said, 50% off, you can buy it for like, 20, 25 bucks. And every now and then they'll go crazy. I ended up getting the EX version on an 80% off deal. I was like, yeah, might as well get the, most high end. Like they're literally giving it away at this point. And the cool thing with it too is immediately, like almost instantaneously, as soon as I drew something with it, like I can't remember who I saw drawing. I think it was like Mike Diodato Jr. I saw him drawing with it online, and I was like, oh, okay. Like if Diodato is using it, professionally, I should give it a go, because I was still using Photoshop at that time. And I was like, I should give it a full proper once over before I, like just throw it off to the side. Because a lot of people, they get used to the one program, whatever it may be, Paint or Photoshop, and they stick with it because that's what they know. But I saw what was capable, and I was like, you know what? If the entire Japanese manga industry is pretty much using this, there's probably a reason why. I was like, all right, I'm going to do one line drawing, just the line drawing, no color, no nothing, and I'll make my judgment from there. I didn't even get finished half of it. And I was like, I'm never touching Photoshop ever again. Screw Photoshop for drawing lines. This is it. Like, so I started drawing all my stuff in Clip Studio Paint because of how nice it felt to draw. Like it felt like drawing on paper again, but with all the digital advantages. And then slowly but surely, like Photoshop just kind of phased itself out because all the tools that are available inside the Clip Studio Paint, just like it's meant for doing comic books. And it does a lot of the stuff that you kind of wish Photoshop did do, but it doesn't. And you buy it, it's yours, and it's cheap, and they do free updates. Let me know when it's 50% off for the Pro version. You know what, Ensign? If you just follow them on Instagram or Facebook, just like a couple of their posts, and it'll pop up in your feed when they have a sale, because they promote the crap out of it. So, and they just had one a couple, I think maybe like a month, maybe 2 months ago. So they're due for another sale coming up right away. Like I said, it's like clockwork. One of my workers, when we were working on The Hollow, the Netflix show, I was like, man, you got to get this. You got to get this. And I worked with him the previous year, and I told him about it. And he was still kind of like in the same boat. He's been using the same program forever. So he's like, I'm used to this. And it's like, dude, it's on sale. It's 25 bucks. Like, dude, you're going to blow 25 bucks on like a bag of chips, a soda, and a couple chocolate bars these days. Like, just buy it. So he ended up buying it. The next day he comes into work. He's like, oh my God, it's freaking amazing. Like, I don't know why I didn't hop on it sooner. Like, I fucking told you, man. I told you. I was going to buy Photoshop, but this looks good. You know what? I will always sway somebody over to Clip Studio Paint. Do you have Mac or do you got PC? Only reason I ask is there seems to be a couple like weird little things with Mac. PC works like butter. I've used it on both. Yeah, there's a couple like weird little workarounds you got to do to set up your Cintiq and stuff like that, but it's nothing major. It's just like kind of like, oh, I guess that's how it is. PC, oh yeah, you'll be fine. Oh, so it's really hard to draw with. Oh, dude, yeah, no, you get yourself a tablet. That's a Fall Clip Studio on Instagram. Then, yeah, do it up. Like they will show up in your feed like clockwork. Still, this program is very much worth it at $50. Oh, dude, so much. Okay, let's just give you a quick little tour of how awesome this is. So, bloop. So over here we have this menu. Where are they? There we go. And then all of these. Let's see. Let's just go into pose, character, body type, 3D. These are all the 3D characters that. Okay, I'll just drag one of these guys in. Bloop. Zoom out here. There we go. That should show up. Bag of chips, go tank of gas. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna blow like 50 bucks on whatever. So this is the 3D mannequin model that comes with it, fully posable. You know, you can grab, you know, whatever parts, drag it around wherever. You know, shrink it, blow it up, all that kind of stuff. You can control the camera too. So if you want it to look like really forced perspective, like, let's see. This is one of the really fun parts. Is you have all these preset models already. So say that you want something you like, oh, I want to, you know, Superman pose. You just grab the model, slap it over, and it will automatically put it on there. It's like, oh, I don't want the Superman model. Let's do the, I don't even know what this pose is. The relaxed man pose. You throw that on, boom, relaxed man pose. How about resting chin? So it gives you a nice thing to work from. It's, you know, a mannequin. You can go in and change the body size, the shape, the head width, all that kind of stuff. The shadowing. Overcrown outline, it has the work done for you. No, you still got a lot of work to do, but you got to remember, like, all this kind of stuff, this is what the pros are like. I wouldn't say all the pros, but in video games and stuff like that, a lot of the concept artists, they're just using 3D models now. They're just like, yeah, why would I spend 5 hours painting something when I can spend 2 hours making the entire set and adjusting it exactly how we want, and then have options from there rather than, you know, just one static painting. And yeah, here's the thing, like, these are all the, like, the preset poses that it just comes with. It has hand gestures. Here, let's do grid up, you know, so like, you know, somebody getting ready to fight, but then you want to give, you know, the okay symbol. Oh. And all the hands are individually, you know, you can control everything on them. I use this quite a bit, actually. Like if I'm having trouble with specific hands, hand models, I'll either take photos of my hands or position it close enough where I can be like, oh, okay, yeah, that works. And then I'll just do a quick drawing and then resize it and stuff like that. You know, you're still doing the work, like, you know, you're still posing stuff out, but I use it a lot for character shots. You know, like if there's a group of people in one scene, you can pull a lot of these and they'll snap to the floor and it'll snap to the perspective grid. So that way everything looks, you know, like, so nobody's weirdly floating. It's like you can kind of see like the perspective lines there. Because there's also perspective rulers in Clip Studio Paint. Yeah, man, like, hands down, like, one of the best drawing programs I have ever used. Let's Burp. Sexy times. And this is just like the basic stuff, like the libraries that you can access. Like, it is bonkers. Here, I'll just pull up the library just to kind of show you, because it is ridiculous. Yeah, like for the comic book I'm doing, KAYAS, there's like a horse model in here, and I was just like, hell yeah, I'll be using that a lot, because horses are so damn tough to draw, and to make horses look cool, you gotta like pick these really like awkward angles, or at least I think you should. Let's see here. So this is the assets library. Clip Studio asset, find brushes and more. We'll just check this out quickly. Let's see. So let's just look up 3D objects, or let's just look up poses. So these are all the poses that you can download. We'll pick all the free ones, because there are some paid ones, but majority you can just find all the free ones. And we'll just go to publish date. And yeah, these are all the free poses that you can download. And it just goes on and on and on. The other cool thing too is it, like, these are just static poses. If you go into certain aspects, it'll actually have like run cycles or backflip cycles, which are really cool. I've used a couple of those. Like walk cycles come in really, really handy. And these are all like pre-done characters and stuff. And like this is just the character posing. This isn't even like the brushes that you can get. So yeah, that's just the free poses. Let's check out one of the other cool things too is we'll just go into 3D objects. We'll just pull that up and we'll go to free as well. Publish date. So these are all 3D objects that you can pull into your scene for whatever you may need. And same thing, like there's like, if you get into the paid section, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's like full on like tanks, jets, you name it, and they're all really, really high end models. Like this stuff's like garbage. Look at that turd. Yeah, but like that's a free tank that you can use. There's another free tank down here is, assault rifle. And the other cool thing too is if you have other 3D objects from other stuff that are saved in OBJ or FBX file, you can just drag and drop them into Clip Studio Paint, and you can rotate them and all that kind of stuff for your characters. I just use them to look after reference. I mean, if you don't use the form, I'm of the school of whatever you need to get it done is how you need to get it done. Like I have no qualms of like you got to remember, I was a tattoo artist for like almost 20 years. Tracing is part of the job. Like it's just the way that it is. I got no qualms with it whatsoever. What else we got here? Work set, gradients, brushes. Yeah, and same thing. There's like 12,000 different brushes to choose from. If you can't find a brush in here that you like using for free, then I don't know what to tell you. Like there's chain brushes, braids, like lots of cool stuff to, lots of foliage. Like I said, it's meant for drawing manga, so there's a lot of stuff that economize your time. Because there's those things that are like, oh, that's going to take forever to draw. They're like, oh, guess what? They already made a brush for that. I was like, oh, okay, that works. No tattoo ever came out good without a stick on. But yeah, well, everything's stenciled, so it's literally part of the job is tracing. So yeah, like there's like lace brushes. That's so yeah, and again, this is all free to use. Yeah, and you just sign up. Give you whatever email that you want to use, but bear in mind that email gets locked to your account. So, and that email is specifically locked to your to your version of Clip Studio Paint. Yeah, so needless to say, I love this program. It's awesome. Like my guest Miller and his bricks. Man, it's always funny. Just like no matter how good of an artist you are, there's always somewhere where you're just going to be like, oh man, no, wasn't paying attention there. Get stuff like no regrets. Oh, dude, yeah. I've had one spelling error in my tattoo career. That is super funny. I had to convince the guy. It's like, no. I that's not spelled properly. He's like, it's spelled right. No, it's not. We forgot the R. He's looking at it. No, it's right. He's like, no, dude, there's no R. Count down. Oh shit, there's no R. Oh, the funny rules of drawing a snake. You wouldn't think about it, but there's a lot of little weird unwritten rules when you're drawing a snake. Like one of them is you should never have the head. Say this is the head. Here are the eyes. Top part, and then you shouldn't have the snake coil back on itself and stop in its own body. Because once you get all the scales and stuff in here, it's gonna look weird unless you put a cut shadow around the whole thing. Because what happens is once you color it in, it becomes this weird looking shape. It's no longer this. It now becomes this. You know, it just looks like a blob. I'm just gonna try and leave the head out in the open, separate from the body. You know what? The whole tattooing thing is just, you know, it's just like any other job. You don't think about it. You know, in the beginning, it's nerve wracking, just like any other job that you've never done before. But then after a while, it just becomes second nature, provided that you're willing to get good at it. I've known a lot of tattoo artists who think they're good at it, and I'm just like, fuck, I would not let you in my shop. Even if you had a fire hose and my place was burning, like, get out of here. Just let the place burn. Time are we at here? Oh, about 11. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more research on exactly how I kind of want this double page spread to be. I got a couple things in mind, obviously, but there's a bunch of characters like I want to toss in. That eventually show up down the road. I got so many goddamn characters for this story, all with backstories. All I'm just like, Jesus Christ. How about we just get the first comic book done? Let's just do that. Let's just start there, and then we will continue. It also helps that I have time to sit here and just draw 24/7, 365. Yeah, man, if that's the case, then just chip away, get better and better. And the cool thing too is just like, you know, you will eventually find the thing that you like drawing and how you like to draw it. Like, funny enough, like I've been drawing forever, and I'm just starting to figure out a way I like drawing. As funny as that sounds, like one of the things with tattooing, like I kind of came up in the last era of like biker tattoos and stuff like that. So whatever came through the door, you had to do. So there was no particular style. Like somebody wanted portraits, guess what? You did portraits. Somebody wanted Japanese, you did Japanese. There was none of this like, oh, I only specialize in this, how it is today. It's like, no. Like you do not say no to whatever walks into that door. Because first off, it's not your shop. And if you're refusing money, the boss would be like, why are you even here then? You're fired. Get out. Don't need you. You're turning down money. You're a detriment to my business. Go away. And that's if they were nice. I'm getting a lot faster. Nice. Less indecisive with my strokes. I have an eraser. I always forgot that. Yeah. I remember when I was young and then hearing, like Jim Lee was just like, eraser? I don't got time to erase. I was like, wait, what? What? What do you mean don't have time to erase? And then years later, actually watching him draw, I was just like, oh, yeah, this guy doesn't need to erase. Just doing his thing. Watching a tutorial, he doesn't need one. He knows exactly where to put every line. Yeah, it's one of those things when he's been doing it for so long. He can just like watching him on Twitch, where he'll just like bang out a full page, in like 3 hours. It's like that's when you've been doing it forever, and you have your compositions down pat. You know exactly how you draw, the body the way you draw it. Oh yeah, so good, so good. Another guy that I've been watching lately that's like maddening to draw is Yusuke Murata, the guy who draws One Punch Man. The manga. Somebody's been putting a bunch of his live stream stuff because he has a live stream. I can't remember what it's on. Kind of like the Japanese version of Twitch. And oh my god, it's sickening because he's drawing so fast, but then it also simultaneously erasing all of it and redrawing it all over again, but better each time. Just like mother, like god damn it, and like just banging it out so fast, and then he'll just grab the pen and start inking it, like just like oh, so good. James Riaz, yeah, I like his stuff too. Maybe I can get a cool composition. Man, I freaking love drawing Trigger, the chicken, with his like weird nutsack waddle chin. It cracks me up every time. I watched his 50 Iron Man stream, helping him stay awake. I was there the whole time. Oh, cool. I might like something like that. Just love the mess. It's like, yeah, there's art in here. Find something. Can you turn this into something good? It was great fun. watching his head bob. I love YouTube. Put me in touch with childhood heroes. Yeah, that was one of the big things with coming, like crossing over from like retiring from tattooing and then getting into something else was like drawing by yourself is freaking quiet and maddening. So I started live streaming on Twitch, and I was just like, "Oh, okay, I can do this. I can chatter to myself or chatter with people." That made it manageable to kind of like bridge that gap. And then I talked to Art T. Bear, Jim Lee. Yeah, that's one of the cool things, man. Like, you know, back in the day, there was no way you were ever gonna like be in contact with these people, but now it's literally like you could be on a first name basis and like an email or a DM away, being like, "Hey, so and so, check out my new stuff." And like, "Oh man, that's awesome." Or you know, one of them randomly just liking your stuff. But it's not like they're friends. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I always do find it funny how much stuff has shifted and changed, even like the past like 6 years. All right, I'm actually kind of digging this. Kind of have everybody kind of stacking back and upwards. Have Cat Master Lee over here in the background. Okay. I think this is kind of the montage shot of characters I was kind of going for. People movies on it. Oh, that's awesome. Because of my on Facebook, I talk out loud. Here's again, technology is great. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's wild. Like think about this. Like 12 years ago, even this wasn't even like even remotely close to what it could be. What it is now, kind of, sort of. Oh, I don't want to put. I gotta be careful. I don't want to put anybody on the spine. I can have somebody crossing over the spine, but I don't want to put somebody directly on the spine. I'll have Wesa right here. Oh, it's just a mess. Just freaking gibberish. Like, what the? But it's gibberish, I understand. Even nobody can feel like a star. And vice versa. Push that in. Actually, I gotta fix Traeger's position. I'm way too forward. It cracks me up every time. See, ultimately, one of the goals is down the road to hire certain pros. It's like, hey, I'll pay whatever the hell page rate you want, but these are the characters. It's a 5-page story. You know, this is all fanciful, like thinking down the road. But I mean, like, but this is the story. These are the characters, and you got to draw this chicken, this weird nutsack waddle on his chin. Like a Randy Quaid, you mean? Yeah. Like, man, yeah. You never know what's gonna happen. Like, especially these days. After all the bullshit I want. Yeah, exactly. So draw my book for me then. Yeah. No, there is a long line of things that I would like to get drawn. I know I'm probably not going to be able to draw them myself though, because like once this story wraps up, I have another like I got this bad habit of making like long format stories. They just come so easy. Lisa. Could have Sisek right here. And then these guys. Ooh, oh yeah. You know what? Toss him right there, looking at you. This little button patch eye. Oh yeah. If I looked at my pics, you saw my brainstorm of the dead parrot idea. It's the chicken in front of the aliens fighting the military. I can find it. It's from an experiment with Professor Stanley and the parrot gone awry. Alright, actually I gotta check what time it is. 11:34. Alright, cool. Yeah, I got to where I wanted. I wanted to just kind of mess around and kind of just get back into the flow of streaming again. Just sketching. I kind of have an idea of what I want to do for the wraparound full cover for the secret tier now, which is kind of like this like weird NWA-esque style upshot of all the characters. I shouldn't say all of them. I should say a batch of the characters. Oh, and then I can put the ship back here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hints of things to come. All right, cool. Very cool. All right. So the parrot remains then who's ceased to be. But isn't there a rough draft? Hard part. I'm going to save this right now. Wrap around cover. All right, save. Awesome. I mean, rough draft idea is the hard part of the story. Exactly. Like getting the framework. Yeah, it's getting the feel for everything. That can be tricky. Like if I wanted to just draw something, that's easy enough. You just draw it. But when you're trying to like, get the vibe of something, that's where it can eat up a lot of time. But that's all right. I got something to work from here now. Cleanup is easy, exactly. But I am gonna call it for a night. I gotta get a bunch of stuff ready for tomorrow because tomorrow is day 2 of the campaign. So I'm gonna be, do that internet hustle that I do. But yeah, thanks for everybody for popping by. Anybody that's new here that's watching this after the fact, please go check out the Indiegogo campaign, which is in the link below. You can also check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, basically all social media at theryancardinal.com. And if you want to have access to the secret tier, which is a full wraparound, full color, limited edition comic that I have available on my Indiegogo, you can go to www.kayas.com and sign up for the email list there, and that will get you access to the secret tier. You cannot get to the secret tier without signing up for the email address. And also when you sign up for the secret tier and subscribe, you also get an 8-page preview of KAYAS in advance, so you can read the book, get a little bit of a vibe of what's going on with it. And again, big thanks for everybody that popped by and hung out. I'm going to be doing more live streams and putting up more content. So if this is your first time here or first time listening to this, please hit like, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. Slowly going to make this channel, you know the routine. Got to make the channel grow, all that kind of fun stuff. But the cool part is, because nothing's monetized, nothing's anything right now, we can kind of get away with just like being idiots. And it's when they notice. That's when you got to kind of smarten up. So I'm going to be doing a couple of tattoo stories and stuff like that, and I'll put those up. Let's see what we got here. Good night, buddy. Picking brains. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, and if you want to pop on sometimes and draw live stream stuff, yeah, man, I'm always down. We'll have pennies. I'll be sure to buy it. Yeah. Like I said, it's going to be up for the next 30 days. I know I'm not monetized yet either. Oh yeah, I do not have enough time to be monetized. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for me for tonight. Again, thanks everybody for hanging out, and I will talk to you all most likely tomorrow. Yeah, most likely. All right, everybody. Peace out. Have a good one.